morning. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. Hold on. So I wanted to share my book with y'all. I spoke to y'all a lot about great job. Yay. Open the chat. The chat. Put up your arms and listen. Stop. Sit up. What is the direct object in the sentence? Sit up. The boy kicked the ball. What's the subject? Who's the subject? Who is this?
Boy.
Okay, so write boy. Okay, right, boy. Come on, Marcella. Okay. Now, pay attention. This is important. What's the verb? What happened? The boy kicked the ball. What is the verb? What did he do? What did he do to the ball? What did he do to the ball? Did he slap it? Did he kick it? Did he throw it? The boy kicked the ball. Okay, so he kicked it. It was kicked. The action is kick, right? It's the boy. And what did the boy do? He what?
Kick.
And what did he kick?
He kicked.
What did he kick? The what?
Ball.
The ball?
Ball.
Yes. What did he kick?
The ball.
The direct object, yep, is the ball. The direct object is the ball. Hold on. Put D.
Oh.
Hold on. She's going to do a poll. You see a poll up there? Okay. What did he kick? Put D, the ball. Boy, the kicked ball. Which one? Mm-hmm. Click it. Good job. So let's talk about it. The boy kicked the ball. Who kicked the ball? The what?
The ball.
Who kicked it?
Ball.
That's right. And what did he do? He
kicked.
That's right. And what did he kick? The
ball.
Good job. It's called sentence structure. Great job. Good morning, y'all. I just got finished teaching my son. I'm going to teach y'all. We're going to go through this book. I wanted to read something from my book that I published called The Chrysalis Experience. This chapter is called Ending the Cycle and Creating New Opportunities, Generational Wealth. I figured instead of trying to sell y'all this book, first, this book is at the lowest price I could possibly put it in on Amazon. That's how much I believe in this project. I need y'all to know how important it is to save your own life in the times that we live in. So I'm going to read you this chapter again. It's called Ending the Cycle and Creating New Opportunities. I have this book, I think, on Kindle for $1 and some change. So that's how much I'm not trying to make money, but I need y'all to read this if you're trying to heal yourself and elevate within your life. Here we go. Be the person who creates opportunities, not the one who closes and locks doors behind you. Civilization is stuck in its own karmic loop. We are all stuck believing if I had to go through hell and back, then so should the next person. But that comes from a place of lack of education from our elders who believe that their past should remain in the past because they are either ashamed of it or the memories are just too difficult to conjure up. Although understandable, people need to feel as though they can relate to you in order to learn from you. They have to, at the very least, believe the environment that they are in is a safe one. That way, their guard is down and the information can flow freely to them. In many cases, one's elders will not open the door for one to know their past. Their past could bring about pain that they themselves have yet to heal from. In this case, the elder is not to blame, but they are responsible for the chain reaction that sets off within their bloodline. Reality is, everyone needs to get things off of their chest. Majority of people nowadays run into the same issues when it pertains to their childhood. Parents and elders tend to present themselves as people who can do no wrong. The younger generations cannot relate to that, especially when their parents are their teachers, providers, judge, jury, and executioner. This doesn't lead to a safe space for a child, so there becomes a disconnect. The child typically grows up to make the same, if not similar, mistakes as their parents did. The youth hear honesty and not just a story. They need to know that at one point their parents were young and dumb, that their elders made mistakes that had long term effects on them. Elders need to express that they wish they could have taken back some of their decisions. The youth hear their parents say it took them time to heal from certain things. They need to hear this. Age appropriate stories need to be shared with age appropriate lessons, with age appropriate solutions. We have to start teaching the younger generation age appropriate ways on how to win. I thank God for social media and the internet as a whole. There are many tools that are accessible to us today. Videos and text from different individuals from diverse backgrounds, experiences, perspective, ways of lives, and theories. You can find whatever you need in whatever medium you prefer. Anyone who wants to expand their horizon can do so on their own time. Understand that although social media and the internet can be a great tool, emphasis on tool, it can also have a great influence on your perspective. It can easily shape you in a negative way if you are not careful. That is why it should not be a substitute. Remember, it's a tool, it's not a substitution for important life lessons that should be passed down from generation to generation. We can learn to take our own trauma and create a bridge to knowledge and healing. Although sharing all through sharing with one another. Now, what I mean when I say this bridge, I mean if I went through something and I tell my child, it doesn't mean my child's not going to go through it. But if I just say, oh, yeah, I was young and dumb at 1.2, I'm not being honest with my child instead of saying, hey, I did this, I did that, and that led me to this. And with going through that, not only did I break down my self esteem, but I also made myself feel like I was unworthy. You have to tell the truth about how you feel. It's not just about telling the story, it's about what emotions lined up with that story. Because those emotions that line up with the story, that's the bridge from knowledge. to emotion. That's how you connect with your children. That's how you connect with the youth because they need to know that you felt something from what you went through. They need to know that whatever they're feeling, that's not an isolated, lonely feeling. And so you have to tell your stories. You have to pass forth what you know, good, bad, or indifferent, because that is the only way your children are going to hear. When they hear it from your voice is powerful. When they hear it from your voice and they hear your frequency and they feel the vibration of what you're talking about, your children will snap in and connect with you. But if you pretend perfect, your kids can't relate to that. They don't know what that is. No one knows what that is. The internet has shown us that your situation is not one of a kind. Millions were raised in similar households. Not to say that you're not special, because you absolutely are. Simply put, many people from different backgrounds, ethnicities, race, and religions have similar background stories as you do. Sure, there will be different storylines, but the premises are always the same. Your struggle is internal, and you are looking to find something to help you heal your pain. You have to give yourself grace. Know that as a young adult, there are people from your past, present, and future who have and will experience the same things. Sorry, guys. My kid's teacher is talking loud. Let me go look at this right quick. Let me go see what she's talking about. Is that okay if I put it up? Thank you. I just feel like she's yelling in this room, and I don't want to compete with her teacher. Is that okay? Can you hear her? No, I'm asking you. Is it okay, or do you need it louder? Okay, I love you. Thank you. All right. You have to give yourself grace. Know that as a young adult, there are people from your past, present, and future who have and will experience the same things. We grow by sharing our experiences. That is how we as a people become so hypersensitive. In today's time, our devices are our leaders. Think about it. You turn on your device, you open your social media app of your choice, you watch a stranger's experience, you listen to their stories, and ultimately you learn something: how to garden, how to cook, how to apply makeup, or perhaps how to change a tire. You run to your device anytime you need to learn something you possibly missed out on as a child, because it's a tool. Always remember that. Your device is not your friend. It's a tool. It's not a pastime device. It's a tool. When you get on your device, get on it with a purpose. You should look at your cell phone the way you look at a book. You're going to learn, you're going to develop, you're going to utilize it so that you can do your real world things. This internet is not your real world. This is not your life. This is where you go utilize it as a tool and you go back into the world. You run on your device anytime you need to learn something you possibly missed out on as a child. One day, you choose to turn on your device and tell your story. People begin to watch and feel inspired. Others share in the comments. Everyone is noticing that they have lived similar lives. We want to ensure, excuse me, I'm sorry. Every generation is different. Our generation cares deeply about feelings and emotions, meaning millennials. We want to ensure that our children feel loved. The previous generation, meaning Gen X, the previous generation cared about money and giving their children the physical things that they never had. The generation before that fought for equality, meaning our grandparents. We are where we need to be, but there are so many growing pains. My mother passed her stories growing up to me growing up. She always pushed me to my potential, and I always pushed back. That's just the bull in me. My mother always told me that she wanted to prepare me for the world by educating me. The thing is, I was sick of hearing the same stories as a child. They didn't seem to have anything to do with me at the time, and they weren't solving my current problems. Today, as a grown woman, I thank my mother. I thank my mother many times over for sharing her stories with me. I process the information differently as a woman, having lived many similar experiences myself. Having the ability to recall my mother's lessons has advanced my mental state further than my peers. My mother challenged me when others wouldn't. She knew how to handle a stubborn child because she was a stubborn child. Now, today, as my son's mother, I know how to handle a stubborn child because I was a stubborn child. I'm able to see myself through my child and through my mother at the exact same time. My mother ended the cycle of misinformation for her bloodline because she took her pain and converted it into lessons for her children. And I will do the same, and so will my little. Ending generational curses and healing bloodlines require working on yourself inside and out. Sometimes growth can look like spiraling. Hold on, guys. You're going already, baby. Okay, cool, cool, cool. I'm proud of you. Good job. Go to the reading already. Already. And go to the reading. Good job. All right, y'all. Sometimes growth can look like spiraling. The difference being growth brings out peace while spiraling brings out destruction. Growing up is so hard. Being a young adult is the best and the worst time of your life. You're constantly experiencing new things, all the while trying to wrap your head around your childhood. What you see? Some you say, sweetheart? Wrap your head around your childhood and rectify the cluster, and rectify that cluster of a situation while you're currently cultivating new relationships with coworkers, people at the gym, and your favorite checkout lady at your favorite grocery store. Out of nowhere, you are now responsible for booking your own doctor's appointments. You have to get your own oil changed and somehow understand the concept of building good credit. Meanwhile, the party scene is calling your name, and you're constantly stuck between the two concepts of being responsible and letting loose. Your funds are consistently low, and there is no savings account because you have to live. All the while, you are secretly panicking because you are barely making it and your peers appear to be thriving. Remember, we are all sharing the same experiences. We are struggling together, but we are also healing together. Recently, I found myself in the anger part of my healing journey. Spirit told me to disconnect, and I did. I didn't realize how much shame I was spewing to others. I was angry with men, angry with my supervisor, angry with my past decisions. I felt upset that I hadn't reached a few of my goals, not realizing that all the frustration stemmed from needing to disconnect and to reflect. I was on my platform spewing outrage every other day. Where was the inspiration? As soon as I disconnected, it all came to me. I thought back at my recent videos and conversations with people. Everything was was low vibrational. I felt ashamed, but I also took the opportunity to evolve. I hope my writings find you and do the same. Take the opportunity to grow and pass on the lessons. I've made more mistakes than I can count, and I will make many more before I leave this earth. I just hope I don't make the same mistakes. I've learned it's impossible to heal a person when you're shaming them. Somewhere along the way, I shelved my purpose for survival. Jesus, let me read that again. Somewhere along the way, I shelved my purpose for survival. Hey, come on now. Mm, let me. Let me underline that. That's what we're gonna talk about after this. This is exactly what we're gonna talk about after this chapter. For a moment, that was the current thing to do. Now I need. Are you good, baby? Sally, are you good?
Yes.
Okay. Now I need to feed my soul. I have to fulfill my purpose. It comes to a point where survival isn't enough. Our ancestors survived so that we could thrive. I believe in truth. When it comes to your essence, you can't fake it till you make it. I want to do my part to help others to thrive in their lives. We as a society must lay down our shame and guilt about common issues. We need to find people to connect with so we can properly lay down our burdens. We need to forgive ourselves, our ancestors, and our neighbors. I was adopted at birth. I knew at an early age that I was adopted. My parents divorced when I was young and eventually remarried other people. It turns out my parents could, in fact, have kids, just not with each other. This led to me being the oldest of three siblings. I was sad and I felt envy towards my siblings. I felt like they were the children that my parents really wanted. Every time I preserved that my siblings were receiving. Mm, let me go back. I need to make an edit. Perceived. That's crazy. This book's been out for a while. Okay. Every time I perceived that my siblings were receiving more love than I was, it contributed to me being adopted. It was my biggest insecurity. I would stare at my parents' facial features and I would go into the bathroom and stare at myself in the mirror, pointing out all the differences. I used to wonder what it was like to know someone that you were blood related to. Was there this strange force that pulled people together? Do you just see a person and know, hey, that's my relative? I had no clue. Eventually, I married and had a child of my own. I instantly fell in love with him. He was the first blood relative that I knew. I felt the need to protect him and to keep him close. Oddly enough, 2 months after my 28th birthday, I found my blood family. It was beautiful, and we reconnected. And of course, there is more to the story, but that's for another time. The more I got to know my blood relatives, the more I realized family is not a blood thing, it's a love thing. My parents that raised me and are still guiding me today have always loved me. We may not have seen eye to eye, but the love was always strong. I was placed exactly where I was supposed to be with the family that I was meant to grow with. There was no difference in love. My pain, my insecurity shaped my perspective. My parents were hard on me because they wanted me to be great. I was their first child, and we were all lost. I understood this concept today because I am now a mother. As a mother, I can see life from my mother's perspective. The lessons that she instilled in me and the lessons that I instill in my son are the same. Different ways of teaching, yet the same lesson. Some lessons and teachings have to be identical because they they were just that great. My parents loved me. They did their best to raise a strong-minded and extremely strong-willed child. I spent so much of my life asking God, why me? Why was I the one who had to be displaced from their family? It took some time for me to grow up and to go see your progress on Zern. How many minutes do you have? I mean, on iReady. Say bye.
Oh,
How many minutes do you have on iReady so far, baby?
I have 7.
7. Okay, you have 8 more minutes to go, okay? Once you're finished with that, I'll be finished as well, and then we'll cook, okay? Okay. I spent my life I spent so much of my life asking God, why me? Why was I the one that was displaced from my family? It took some time for me to grow up and understand that I was never displaced by my family. Rather, I was hand delivered to another. I'm grateful for my family. The lessons that my parents, grandparents, aunts, and uncles have taught me are immeasurable. The love and support that they have shown me my entire life is a gift like no other. I didn't realize how blessed I was. I have an abundance of family and a wealth of love. What looked like a setback was really a setup for success. God knew the plan for my life. For every why me God, God had an answer. I sit and listen as my elders share their stories about their childhood. There are so many parallel experiences from their lives to mine. I am where I am meant to be. I appreciate my family for sharing their experiences with me. I hear things through my adult years now because I have experienced life through their perspectives. For me, it's time to release my childhood trauma with love. I want to help in cultivating a better world. The rage that I had inside of me was simmered down to a gentle flicker. Turns out I wasn't mad, I was just hurt. I am blessed enough to have my parents and a few grandparents still alive today. We have been through many ups and downs throughout my young adulthood. We have had many hard conversations, but I can honestly say I forgive them because I understand them. I am mature enough to understand that they meant what they meant when they say, I didn't know any better. I understand them when they say, I'm sorry, I didn't know I brought you that much pain. I'm not suggesting that you make excuses for your elders, but I'm asking you to give them grace because your time will come. The answer won't seem as simple as you thought it would be. That is God's way of growing you up. My grandmother is famous for saying, I want you to continue to live life. You will see. Experience is the best teacher. She is right. What once hurt you can now elevate you and others around you. My mother would say, nothing is new under the sun, meaning maybe this lesson is new to you, but the others before you have been through this already. You can, hold on, guys. You can seek their wisdom and share with others. When we pass down our lessons and our stories, we are giving the generation after us the opportunity to succeed. Wisdom is a gift. When you can elevate the awareness of others around you, you have the power to heal and unite. Life doesn't have to be a contest. There's more than enough land, water, air, and resources for all. God created this world for all of us to live in paradise. We as people make it hard. We're constantly roadblocking, shaming, dividing, lying, and gatekeeping. We have a love for power and greed. Only 1% of the world's population holds enough money to possess the true world power, which means 99% is left to assist each other. We should be lifting each other up. Instead, we're fighting over the other 99%. It is time for us to evolve. It is time we seen the value in generational knowledge, generational lessons, generational gain, and generational wealth. Anyways, yeah, that's that chapter of the Chrysalis experience. And there's something I wanted to go back to. I said somewhere along the way I shelved my purpose for survival. I think that's super important because a lot of people shelf their purpose for survival. They believe I gotta get to this money, I gotta get to this, I gotta work hard, but they never once have tried to live. They never lived out their purpose. I have a neighbor who will be 68 this year, and he said he's been having the same job since he was a young man. And I said, wow, you must really love doing that. And to that he responded, well, it's a job. Then he said, a man gotta work, don't he? And my heart broke. My heart broke because this man is talking about retiring at the end of this year. My heart broke because this man has spent majority of his life doing a job that he doesn't like. He doesn't even care for. He just does it because he said he got to eat. And no one has talked to this man or pulled him out of that mindset of being a survivalist. We no longer have to survive. Our ancestors survived so that we can thrive. Our ancestors took the hardest burden what any of us would have to ever take so that we could thrive. So this man sitting there and saying 68 this year, that he's thinking about retiring. He's never had any other job. He's never done anything else to propel his heart and his soul. He just worked to survive. It breaks my heart because they money snaps it snaps your purpose right out of you. And we think that it's other people. We thinking it's the world. We thinking it's the white man. We thinking it's the system. We're thinking it's the they, but it's the us. It's the we. We're doing it. We're doing it. We're doing it to each other because we don't know how to teach our children that they don't no longer have to be in survival mode. He said, I said, well, I don't think you have to kick your kids out of that team. I said, I think that that's a trick. And I think it's important that, you help them get to their goals. He said, but I don't know. You don't want your son to be a bum. I said, no, but my son not going to be a bum. I didn't say don't let your kid do anything. I said to give your children time to develop underneath your umbrella of protection. And I just think that when we talk about the old ways, we when you fail to tell the story the right way, when you fail to say, this is where I fail, this is why I fail, this is my heartbreaks in life, you fail to help your child to understand what's going on. So we're passing down the lesson of we got to get this money. But we're never passing down the lesson of I got to serve my purpose. We never pass down the lesson of serving our purpose. And this is where we're falling short. Where you at, baby? What's your progress? How many minutes you did?
2 minutes.
Let me see. Come on. Go out. Let me see the minutes. Sweetie. Sweetie. There you go. Go ahead. Now, go to progress. There you go. Just in time. All right. Come on, get up. Put some socks or something on your feet. It's a little bit cold. You can put slippers on or socks or flip flops or shoes. We're gonna cook. You gonna help me make some French toast? All right. Sweetie, when you get out your classroom, don't forget to exit out, okay? We'll need these folks in our business, baby. Okay, so since your schedule today, it is classroom heavy. Since your schedule is so classroom heavy, we're gonna stay light on the work, all right? So let's go cook, and then you'll come right back to class, and then you'll have let me see. Unfortunately, you'll have three more classes, but that's all right. It's gonna feel painless, okay? Because I'm only gonna keep you on iReady and Zern. That's all you're gonna do today, sweetheart. And you're just gonna attend your classes. All right. But the moral of the story is you got to follow your purpose. And through teaching your children what you've been through, who you used to be, the lessons that you've learned, how you've risen and fallen, you are essentially teaching your child. I wanted to be A, B, and C, but I didn't do that. I didn't follow my purpose. And when you can tell somebody else, I did have a purpose, I did have a passion, but I took my purpose and I made it a hobby. And I took having their money and
and working their jobs. I made that my passion. So I lost out on something because essentially what should have been a temporary job for a setup so that I can live out my purpose, I made it my lifelong career. And I think people need to hear that. People, they say, oh, I'll just be in the military for 20 years. 20 years in the military. And then they get out the military and they decide, now I'll go find my purpose. Now I'll find my passion. But it doesn't really work like that, does it? Right? So then, whatever you're doing after you're done with the military, a lot of people, they lose out on the rest of their lives because they got this mindset of, I need a constant paycheck. I need constant money. Some people, they live out their passions. Come in. But others don't. You ready? All right, let's do what we got to do. We'll get off here.